Sagama, Padamare, Ni, Ni, Re, Ma, Dhapa, Ga, 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 Sagapa, Padamare, Ni, Ni, Re, Ma, Dhapa, Ga, 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 Mana, Manatil Dhyasa Madhuni, Umale Phalashruti, Saraswati Chagavaryatil Jyoti Phalashruti, Mana, Manatil Dhyasa Madhuni, Umale Phalashruti, Saraswati Chagavaryatil Jyoti Phalashruti.
Hello students, welcome to Phalashruti session of subject guidance. Today here I am Mrs. Veena Mudaliar, retired biology teacher from Sati College. I am here to introduce to you our lively, energetic young teacher, Miss Aarti Markar. She has 10 years teaching experience. She has done her MSc and B.Ed. She also does hospital management as her hobby. She comes from family of doctors. It can come handy, students. Biology is all about human biology now. So keep all your queries ready. And she's also examiner for HSC board examinations. So enjoy your journey through this lively session of biology. Okay, over to Aarti madam. Please, madam, take over.
Yeah, thank you, Veena ma'am. And thank you, Golem ma'am and Veena ma'am and the team of Phalashruti Shikshan Mandal to give me this opportunity to guide the students for our lovely biology subject. As you said, the lively, lovely biology. Instead of we call it as bio. We sweetly call it a short name as bio. So good morning, students. And here we go through the journey. And as said by our beloved late President APJ Abdul Kalam, he said that it is excellence happens not by accident. Excellence happens not by accident, but it is a process, and it is a process of hard work, determination, your focus, your passion, which you have to achieve your goals, and definitely it requires a roadmap, and the roadmap is by guidance, right? So we guide over here to how to do your papers, how to write your papers, right? That is where you will set your goals and achieve them. So here we go, without wasting any time, we go for the subject of bio. As you all know that this year it has been a revised syllabus. So we have all the new chapters which are there with a new weightage. And due to the pandemic, I'll go further with that. Just a second, ma'am. Okay, here we go. To understand, first we always should know what is our content and what are we doing. What is all our chapters. So here are the chapters which all you know is comprising of 15 chapters this year with the revised syllabus. And these are the marks with option and without option. Now, when you calculate the marks without option, it's totally around 98 marks of a paper being set, which you have to solve is around of 70 marks. So this is what is the syllabus which you already know. But due to the pandemic, what has happened is we have a reduced syllabus of around 20 of the syllabus which has been reduced. Now, if I go on to the plan of evaluation, we have 100 marks, right? Out of which all of you know that the theory is, that is a written examination, which is said to be along with the practical examination, 70 marks of the written, 3 hours. Your practical examination, 3 hours, right? Which is of 30 marks. Now over here, we go on to understand this pattern. That is section A, which is there. It is question 1 with 10 multiple choice questions, which are compulsory. Question number 2, again, 8 marks question, very short one, short type answers, which are there, around 8 of them, 1 mark each. Section B, which is there, from question number 3 to question number 14, short answer type questions, 2 marks each. Over here, 12 questions will be given to you. You have to attempt any 8. Section C, we go on to, will be 15, question number 15 to question number 26. Short answer type questions again, but over here there are 3 marks. And again, you have to attempt any 8 out of 12. And section D is from question number 27 to 31, which is 4 marks each, and you have to attempt any of 3 of the following. So total, if you see with option, it is around 98, but we have to solve around 70 marks of the paper with 30 marks of your practical examination. Now, I was just talking about what, due to the pandemic, we do have a reduction in the portion, right? So I just would like to make a note of it that the lesson number 3, lesson number 4, no topics have been deleted, right? Whereas the lessons which are there, there is a deletion of topics, which is in lesson number 5, you see a number of topics been deleted where only 5.6 is the topic which you have to do. Clear? Then we go on to next is plant water relation. It is 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. That is a 1.5 page of the chapter which you have to do. And the weightage of that chapter is 5 marks, along with which that would be 7 marks with option. Second is 7th lesson, which is there is a plant growth. Again, same with plant growth. It is where you have the number of topics which are being deleted, right? Where it is 7.9 topic is the one which you have to do. Again, 5 marks of the weightage of that, along with the options, it is 7 marks. Respiration and circulation, the important chapter, weightage is around 8 marks with 11 marks with option. Control and coordination also same, 9 marks of your weightage of this chapter. Human health and diseases, children, students, see to it that you don't keep it for option, because though it is a 3 marks question, you are sure going to get the answers for that. We will discuss it how. Then is the enhancement of food production. So this over here are the topics which have been deleted from that. Biotechnology, again, very much important chapter, which shows no deletion of any of the topics that have been deleted from here. Last 3 topics which are there, which are all towards the environment, that is organisms and pollution, but no topics deleted from here. So you need to see to it that you are doing this chapter, all of them with 3 marks of weightage. That would be 3 marks compulsory and 4 marks of the option. All 3 of the topics, that is organisms and pollution, ecosystem and energy flow, and biodiversity conservation and environmental issues, do show the deletion of the topics. Now, for the most important part, how are you going to answer the paper? So one by one, we would definitely see to it that what will help us to reach us towards the goal, what we require would be the marks which are there, right? Getting the maximum number of marks in bio subject. Now over here, as you see that all questions are compulsory and the details of internal options have been provided in the format of the question paper, which already I told you. So again, repeating back to it, that is section A, which is there comprising of the MCQs with 1 sentence, all compulsory. So those are the 18 marks where you do with MCQs and the 8 1-sentence questions. But question 3 to question 14, which are 2 marks question, does have an internal option. 12 questions are there, but you need to attempt 8 of them. Same way goes for the 15 to 26, where you have to attempt any 8 of the questions and you have 12 options being given to you. And the third is section D, which is there. Again, I repeat back, it's that it has got 5 questions been given and you have to attempt any 3. So you have internal options where you need to decide on. That is what I say, that definitely, you know, the paper pattern where you go to sit, you go for the examination, you go much earlier, right, where you have to you get your answer sheets, you get and your question paper, you get it 10 minutes prior to writing the question answer paper, right? That is around at 10:50. So you will be getting a time to read the question paper, read it carefully, and you prioritize your answering pattern. Answering pattern would be probably you need to start with section A, section B, section C, or section D. Any of the sections which you are comfortable, you think you are confident of it, you know the answers well, so you think of it first and then start attempting it. As you always know, first impression is the best impression, but definitely what you have written, you deserve it, you will get it. That's not the thing, but it is the way you how your paper presentation also matters. So start each section, that is A, B, C, D, on a new page. As earlier mentioned, you have already written the answers. You have written exams where each section you start on a fresh page, right? Though there are half pages left, you do not start it over there. You have to start it on a new page. Now here again, write the question number correctly. You might think that why we need to be told this. But many a times what happens now, you understand the question pattern, question paper totally. So it is what the section A, which is there, has question number 1, which has sub questions from 1 to 10. Question number 2, again, sub questions from 1 to 8. And then the section B starts from question 3, question 4, question 5, question 6. So you need to see the question number properly, see and note it down in your answer sheet, and then start writing and cross-check it again and again that you are writing it. Because if you write the answer, if you write the answer 3, that is you're writing the answer for question number 3, and you are in your own into the writing mode, and you write the question number 4 totally wrong. So question 3 is 0 marks, though the answer is right for question number 4. Right? So this is where we need to understand that. Now over here, coming down to the main thing where students tend to not remember it, or probably in stress, they do such silly mistakes where they do know the answer about it. So question number 1, again, coming back to, so by the time we end, we definitely know that bio paper, what is the question number 1 would be 10 MCQs, right? So the 10 MCQs which are there we need to write down, no need of writing the complete sentence, right? You can only write the alphabet, right? What is the right answer along with the answer here, which I have given you, right? Which flower exhibits a turnpike mechanism of pollination? This is from the lesson number 1, reproduction in plants. So the answer is salvia. So we write down what? We write down the alphabet A and we write down the answer salvia. This is the right way of writing the MCQs. That is the multiple choice questions of section A, question number 1, right? If you do not write it like this, you are getting 0. You should not only write the alphabet and not only write the answer. Second question is answer in one sentence, that is 1 to 8. 8 of them, write the numbers of the questions correctly. So again and again, we come back to the same thing of writing the question numbers in a proper fashion. Even if you attempt the 8th one first, no problem. You're confident of that. You attempt it, but you will be writing the number 8 over there, right? You know it, but again, see to it that you are writing it in a proper way. Again, cross-check it, what you're writing. Stick to your marks. Every mark, particular set of word limit is there, right? For example, for a 1 mark question, it might be a 1 word, it might be a 1 sentence. 1 sentence, I would say it might be an definition would have been asked, or it would have been asked as an example would be what are the what is a sporoderm, which is the comprising of the pollen grain comprising of, again sticking on to the question lesson number 1, that is comprising of exine and intine, or what is made exine made up of, that would be one word, that is a sporopolanin. So this would be the one word, one sentence, that is question number 2 comprising of. So stick to it. We need not write down the complete explanation of pollen grain. We just need to stick on to what is required over there. Question number 3 to 14 are 2 marks question. Probably even in the 3 marks question, we do get the diagrams. So a specific question on diagrams would be asked, draw a diagram. If it is said to be in a 2 marks question, where we say the half mark is for the diagram, a proportionate diagram to be drawn, along with the 3 numbers, that is 3 correct labelings, would be 1.5. If I say if it is from question number 15 to question number 26 for a 3 marks question, it would be 1 mark for the diagram, and it would be 2 marks, that is half mark each for 4 correct labelings. So here it would be either a 2 marks or a 3 marks question of a complete only the diagram which is there. We will further discuss on how the questions would be there. So first, I'm just telling you how you would be attempting the paper, or how you would write the answer paper which is given. Now, answer with the diagram needs to be on the same page. So I am not saying that for the convenience of the examiner, when the examiner has to correct it, I'm talking from your point of view, where you're drawing the diagram, right? If the earlier page, there are around half a page is still remaining, and you still want to continue, draw the diagram and then write it on the next page, that is fine. But what happens is, I want to tell you is, you turn the page, go to the next page, draw the diagram and start the explanation. It is for your convenience, your understanding, where you will not miss out any of the points, right? Like, for example, if it is, we are talking about the conducting system of the heart, right? The conducting system of the heart comprising of the SA node, the AV node, the Purkinje's fibers, right? The bundle of His and the Purkinje's fibers. So as sequentially, when you see the diagram yourself, it is for your own understanding, right? What knowledge you have gained, you are putting down on the paper. So that is where you need to write down. So it is for your convenience, where the diagram should be on the same page where your explanation goes, right? So we go on to the next one. If it is said to be as flow charts, I would take the example which I've already taken earlier also, flow chart, which is a clotting of blood, right? That is in the circulation chapter. So if it is in a flow chart pattern, see that you're writing down on the entire page. Like, for example, the extrinsic and the intrinsic pathway, if we say, right? So we are writing it down. We're writing it down on the complete entire page, instead of writing half on the earlier page and the next half on the next page, where you might miss out on one of the process. Again, say it is the examiners are going to correct, and you're going to get what you deserve, right? Though it is like, but for your convenience, for your good, for your understanding, where you are not going to miss out anything, it would be easier for you to write it on a complete entire page. And that also, I also say with a proper spacing. This was I put it again later. Why? Because it requires a proper spacing. Don't make it in that is you do not have space and you're just trying to crump it up in small space. No need. You can just draw it well with a pencil and write with the proper spacing. Definitely diagrams we do have. So when the questions are there, the questions would be draw with a neat label diagram, or explain with a neat label diagram the internal structure of the heart, okay? Or we would say the alveolar membrane, which is there, where we're talking about respiration. If you're talking about the control and coordination, we're talking about the pituitary gland, which is there.
Here's what I found online. Please
just a second. Yeah, sorry. So over here, when we're talking about okay, diagrams. Coming back to the diagrams, we say that we need to use the dark pencils, definitely, which gives an impression of the diagram well. not too dark, but definitely bold diagrams, not very small, appropriate, proportionate diagrams, and draw fairly large, neat diagrams wherever necessary. Definitely would be asked to draw the diagrams. If it's only a diagram question, you will be drawing a diagram only. If it is with the help of a diagram, you need to explanation, you do the explanation with the help of a diagram. Or it can be a question as the diagram is given in the question paper. There would be the markings given to you for label that particular part, and it would say that redraw the diagram and label. So read the words properly. It's either redraw, so you need to redraw it back because it carries 1 mark, and the labeling, probably 4 labelings you need to give, so it will be carrying 2 to half a mark each for correct 4 labelings, where they must have pointed out the particular areas, a particular portion when you to label it. Clear? Right, for example, it would be, I would talk about the chapter which I'm saying is plant-water relation. I again told you it's only 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Only these 3. Out of that, one diagram over here is a diagram of a root hair. The diagram for root hair, where it can come as, they might give you the diagram, where they would be pointing towards the particular portion, and then you need to redraw the diagram probably, and you have to label them. So read the question well, redraw the diagram and label it. Fine. So this is where we're talking about the diagrams. Now over here again, read the question twice. Notice the command words which are given at the beginning of the question, where it says distinguish. Definitely you know you need to differentiate. See the number of marks which have been given, 2 marks. So you need to write 4 distinguishing points which are there, half mark each. Enlist if it means we need to only list them, right? Describe and give the significance of. So these are the words which are the command words in the question, which have to be seen, and you need to write down the answer, right? We read the question twice, we understand the question, and we further go writing down the answer. So we do not waste time in unnecessary writing, which is not required. Answer the question in a point-wise fashion and sequentially. This would be where I would say when you practice, when you do your own studies, right? What is it like? Normally, when you're talking about, coming down to the first one, when we are talking about VS of an anatropous ovule, if this is a 4 marks question, which we are drawing with the diagram. So we take a fresh page, we draw the anatropous ovule, and we start writing. And we start writing from outside to inside, saying about the integuments, saying about the nucellus, talking about the embryo sac, talking about the cells present in the embryo sac, right? So sequentially, when you go about writing, you are sure that you have not missed out any of the points, right? Attempt all the questions of one section at a time. Like, for example, if you're talking about question number 3 to 14 in the B, see that you complete all the section, all the questions in the section, and then go to the next. If you are not sure about a question from 3 to 14, like for example, say question number 7, you know it, but you do not remember it, keep it aside, you can write it later, right? So see to it that you go sequentially, leave some space over there, or even if you don't leave space, you can write it at the last of the same section, leave some space over there, and then come and again attempt that question. So that way you will be sure that you have completed all the 8 questions in that particular section, right? So again and again, otherwise at the end then you will understand that, oh, I have missed out on one question which I knew, right? So I'm losing on 2 marks, I'm losing on 3 marks because you overlooked that particular question which you knew. So that happens. Go through the paper. This is again and again. I think every teacher at home, everyone tells you that you need to go through your paper once you finish, and again tick on to the questions which you have attempted. So you know that you have attempted 8 questions which are required for section, that is from question number 3 to question number 14. Section B, section C comprising of again 8 questions you need to attempt, and section D you need to attempt 3 questions, right? So you are sure about it, what you're. Now divide the total timing of the examination, right? Fairly leaving around 10 to 15 minutes at the end for cross-checking your paper. And this can be very well planned with the Phalashrutis practice paper, because practice makes progress, what I say, right? Practice makes you perfect. So when you start with the papers, when you start attempting the papers, when you start writing the papers, you come to know where you are, and you can definitely, the first paper might not be the one what you are thinking about, but as you keep on practicing it, as you keep on solving it, as you allocate the time for it, definitely you will, by the time you are very much, I would say, prepared to give your final examination. Now over here, students, that is the information provided in the boxes. This you have to be very, I would say that the textbook which you are there, you're going to read it, refer it continuously when you are doing, even if you're referring to your classes notes, when you're referring to whatever it is, your textbook should be open when you are doing a particular topic. In that, the title, can you tell, always remember, can be considered for evaluation, which is there in boxes, right? So do not think that they will not be asked. Right. So these are the ones, use your brain power. That is an application based questions. So where it is like understanding, knowledge and application, all three of them given together, and thus a paper being made with an easy, average and difficult questions. Right. So this is there, which is there in the boxes. Please do not miss out to those ones. And those questions also can be made and they would be asked. Fine. So this is what was about the whole paper. Now over here, just an extra thing that how you would go about when you say, I say about studying. So what is again and again, I would tell you that you are going to read the textbook and the notes thoroughly. Notes, whatever you are making, you're going through it, you're going through a particular paragraph, making notes and writing it down would be the best thing where you will be able to and to study well, understand well, articulate well, right, and put it down in the paper well, right? Again, over here, we need to write, while studying, write down the keywords and make a summary sheets to help you reinforce what you have read, right? So writing definitely will help. Any of the subjects, it's not specifically when I'm talking about bio, but when we talk about any of the subjects, anything whatever you are doing, you have to write down. You have to write down those, I'm not saying the whole sentence, but definitely the keywords which are required. Like for example, if you're talking about the internal structure of the heart, what are the different valves which are present? Right? So that would be the tricuspid valve. So you can just mention it as tricuspid valve. Where is it present? Right side, right side, right side, right side, right? Tricuspid valve. So it's then making a mnemonics about it, right? And understanding it your way, how you can remember it, right? So, or trying to get the ways how you can remember it. That would be also a very good way to, I mean to say, to recollect, remember various things. This is one way I would like to tell students that you normally we love to speak loudly sometimes, and when we speak loudly, we explain, we teach. This will help us or help you to determine how well you can articulate what you have learned. Right? Sometimes it is that when you are doing it, when you are reading it, again you say it back to yourself. It becomes easier for you to understand it and put it down and produce it into a paper. So this is a very well way to remember, recollect, or study. Now this is what is one of the, I've just given you an way how you can go about. You need to draw diagrams when you're studying, or you make flow charts. This is what I call this as a mind map. Like this is just an example which I make it like this. Like for example, when you're doing human health and diseases, there are various number of diseases which are there, and all of them has got the diagnosis and treatment, prevention and control, signs and symptoms, mode of transmission. So you can make a mind map where whole thing is right on a single page, and you go through it. Definitely 3 marks given for this whole chapter will be according to the probably might be one of an MCQ, one sentence, or complete prevention or diagnosis asked, or a treatment asked. So you see there are I'm to say 2 points in diagnosis and treatment. So what would be that? It can come as a 1 mark statement, like what is it treated by? Or it would be, what would be the prevention and control? You can see there are almost 5 points which are there being given. So it can be a 2 marks question, right? So we can just make out. So this is kind of a mind map which are made, and this you can make for each and every topic what you are doing. You know, when you are making your notes, try to make it in this way. Try to make it on a page where you will understand the complete answer, and you can break down also into that complete one topic into various small one sentence or 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, all can be done on one page. So this is how you will understand it, by making the mind map. And this is by you, where you have to understand it. You will do it, you will understand it, and you will learn it. So, okay, first is like the practice and test, right? So practice answering exam papers. Definitely this will help you to know the kind of the exam format which is there, right? You have to take a test so that you know where you stand, and keep this test definitely in an organized pattern so that you can review them in future. So that is why what we say is we need to take test. We say exam, oh God, exam, oh no, it's better I just keep on studying, but that won't help, right? Just keep on studying, just keep on doing things by your way. But how are you going to understand that where are you standing? How much have you achieved? How much have you completed? How much are you able to produce at that particular time in that it is a stress environment, not in the comfort zone, right? So how are you going to do that? You're going to do only by taking practice test, right, before going for the finale. So every time, definitely, we do not want to go for a direct finale of a board examination and write down the papers and make blunders. Instead of making blunders on a stepwise fashion, would be much more affordable, I would say, where we will understand. That's why I said that keep this tests which are there in an organized fashion in your files, which will help you to again go back to the test, to the papers, and find out what mistakes you have done, where you have lost marks, and where you need to improve on, right? Time management is definitely one of the major things where you need to do for your, in fact, in very day-to-day life also, as well as in your examination. So when we apply it in your day-to-day life, definitely examination mein to wo apply hoga hi hoga. So this is for your reference, where I have been allocated the time. This is not absolutely, it is up to your I would say your way of going about how you want to solve it. But when you see your MCQs, you can give around 15 minutes for it. Then you question number 2, which is there 8 of them are there. You can give around 15 minutes for them. Question number 3 to 14, there are around 8 in number, right? Where you have to solve it. If you want to solve extra, no problem. Go ahead, do it. If you're confident of it, yes, definitely you can go ahead with that. It's around 45 minutes been given to, like we can give 45 minutes of our time for question number 3 to 14, which we have to solve 8 of them. Question number 15 to 27, that is section C again, right? Again, 8 you have to solve, which is around almost an hour of it, where you can draw the diagram, label it, properly write the answers, think and sequentially put it in a proper form in your answer sheet. Then we have the next one, that is section D, which is from 28 to 31, where 3 of the questions you have to attend, and you have almost 35 minutes for writing that. Probably in that one also you can have a diagram based question. So diagram based question, there will be a diagram, and you need to answer the questions which are asked from the diagram. So that is again these diagram based questions that we will discuss one by one. So if you see, when you're writing, as I said earlier, also need to keep 10 minutes for your paper. You need to go through your paper, take out the answers which you have done. Have you completed all what is required for a 70 marks paper? Definitely, if you can write extra, wonderful. So over here again, practice and test, I would say that it will help you to even write down the answers in a proper sequential form. Definitely your handwriting, right? That is one thing. And you know how much time do you take, and how is your writing speed, that will help you to complete the whole exam in the proper stipulated time. Yeah. So this is about so that's what I've done, is like the time management is required. So otherwise it all goes topsy-turvy when we do not manage our time well, right? Now, questions can be asked in tricky form. They are from the textbook only, but the language is a bit twisted, right? So this is where we do not have direct questions sometimes, right? I have given an example in that. In the answer for the inheritance of X-linked genes, that is lesson number 3, I'm talking about inheritance and variation. Madhav had shown carrier male. Um, his answer was incorrect. Madhav was wondering why his marks were cut and explained the reason. So this is a question. So definitely, I know that there are carrier females and not carrier males, where the females have a double dose of X chromosome. Right over here, mother has shown as a carrier male, where males are never carriers because they do have only one X chromosome and the other one is the Y chromosome. So this would be the whole explanation talking about that he has shown the carrier male, and which is incorrect because males do not have a double dose of X chromosome. Females do have. Females are the carriers. They are said to be the carrier. They are said to be the carriers which have got the X-linked genes. Like one would be suppressed, though they have two X chromosomes. One would be suppressed where the other one is dominant, which would be carrying the carrier genes. Right? So this would be the answer. So over here, you do know about it. You have done it, right? But the answer would be the same thing you need to write down, but the question is in this form, which is in a different way, and you need to understand it and write down the answer. Now again, this is where I would like to tell each and every student about the command words again, right? We unnecessarily waste time in doing a lot of writing those things which are not required, and then say that we have lost marks, or we did not get time to complete our paper. Definitely, as the paper has been set, the paper has been set into that stipulated time which is there, So over here, the question is enlist the 1, 3, 6, and 7 cranial nerves. Right here, enlist. The word says enlist. Enlist means we just enlist it. We just write down the names. We do not have to tell their origin. We do not have to tell anything more about the particular cranial nerves which have been asked. So no description to be given about. We just enlist them. That is, cranial nerves we're talking about are the optaphyga, the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Optaphyga. First one, if I've given an example over here, it is olfactory, optic, oculomotor, right? No, so pathetic. So these are the ones which are the names. So if you don't remember them, if this is the way how it has been given, on the side you write down the mnemonic, find out what is it. Immediately you can write only enlist and writing down only the names and not the description. So that can be the enlist word. Identify and label the parts of the following. This is a diagram which is there, or it can come as redraw and label. That is from lesson number 1. Redraw and label. So this can be asked as redraw and label again. So the labelings have been shown to you. You need to write down the labelings, that will be the plumule, radical, the helium, right? So these are the cotyledon which is there. So these are the names which are there for the labelings, and this you can label. So again, I will say command word is redraw and label. So probably some might think that we just need to write down the names. Nahi, humko likhna hai kya? We need to write down, we need to draw it again, and we need to label it properly about what have been asked to us. These are all of them given. Probably if it's a 2 marks question, 4 labels will be asked to you. That would be, if it is a redraw, 3 marks question, 1 mark would be what we have redrawn it, right? And the 2 marks would be for proper, correct, I would again say correct labeling, right? It's the state, the laws. We do have the law of dominance, the law of segregation, law of independent assortment. So these various laws which are there will be asked, and see to it that you write down the proper words for the 2 pairs of homozygous organisms, right? 2 pairs of homozygous underlined word when you're talking for law of dominance. Right, so where one is dominant and the other is suppressed is called as stating the law of dominance. So when we state, we just write down the word state the law of dominance. We just state it. Further, we are not going in for any of the explanation of law of dominance. Right? If I say about state, I can tell about another question which will be there, like with the suitable chart, explain the law of dominance, right? Explain the law of dominance. The suitable chart, it would be where you can talk about the monohybrid cross, right? Where you take the tall and the dwarf, and you can explain that well with a chart. Now, when we say lesson number 3, see to it that you do all the charts in that. Monohybrid, dihybrid cross with the Punnett square, which is there. The third one, which is there, the pleiotropy is there, the co-dominance is there, the incomplete dominance is there, right? The co-dominance, which is of the Rowan's. So it can be a 1-mark question about Rowan's, like what is the color the Rowan's possess, or how are the Rowan's formed? That is by co-dominance. White and red color together forms the Rowan. So this is what I'm saying, that when we need to do it, we can explain it in a chart form also. So it is over here. Next is talking about the outline and discuss. Now, when you're talking about, I just put an example of the steps of blood clotting. So this is there in your textbook already, right? So just go through this is what I'm talking about, the flow chart. If been given to you, you will draw the flow chart, right? Now, it won't be like you need to draw the complete, because there are so many of labeling. So definitely not for a 2 marks or a 3 marks question. So how can be asked? Can we put it in this way? Right? So over here, you need to write down those 4 blanks which are there, which is carrying half mark each. So for that, you definitely need to know the complete process of blood clotting, right? So this is the way how a flow chart can come. Or you can, I just earlier said about, if I'm talking about pollination also we have a lot of them, right? Where we have the wind pollination, we have the water pollination. There are 2 types of water pollination which has been given, right? Epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Again, in a chart form can be asked, right? And we need to write down in a chart form what it is, the blanks which are there. So these are the only blanks required, which is a half mark each. So this, you need to draw it again, and you need to write down, or probably they might be giving the blanks as A, B, C, D, or they might number the blanks. So see to it that you're writing the proper number and writing the answer, right? Again, definition, see to it that you are writing the proper definitions, what are being asked to you. Say that the proper words which are being there, you need to definitely write the same words, right? Or even if you are writing it, see to it that the meaning of the definition remains the same. So for me, I would say when we talk about definitions, I would say that you go by word to word, where it helps you produce it well on a paper. You understood the concept, well and good, definitely yes and yes. But when you're writing a definition, see to it that you write the definition properly, right? We go further. Now describe, if it is a described question, so it is describe the structure of an antibody. So it's a describe the structure of an antibody. Probably it's a 3 marks question comprising of the heavy chain, light chain, the polypeptide chain, which is there. So all the points which are there, what it is comprising of, you will be writing down the process. Maybe it's a structure which is asked over here. I've just taken a question of a structure, describe the, I would say, describe the cardiac cycle. Describe the cardiac cycle. You might say I'm talking about only respiration, circulation. Those chapters are one of my favorites. So that's when we're talking about the process, or we're talking about the cardiac cycle. So we have 3 of them, right? So 1 mark each. You do not need to draw a diagram over there. So over here, it is the same way how it is when you describe the process. Now over here, these are the chapters which I'm talking in the last chapter, the organisms and population. Then we're talking about biodiversity, when even human health and diseases which is there. So over here are you put forth your tips, the measures based on your knowledge, what is there, what are the various public health measures which you would suggest as a safeguard against infectious diseases. The present condition, what is there, right? COVID-19. So what would be the public health measures, what have been put forth? So I don't think so we need to by heart, or we need to, memorize it so much. It is like keeping hygiene, keeping a proper diet, by exercising well, proper medication taking, washing your hands, sanitizing yourself, keeping the surroundings clean. So there are many measures, right? One after the other, 2 marks question. We are getting the answer for what are the various public health measures which would suggest as a safeguard against infectious diseases. Clear? With the present condition, which we already know about it. No? So this is what we would be writing down, which is the knowledge you already have. Definitely differentiate, it is that is distinguish between, differentiate or distinguish, which will be there, giving the points of difference like autogamy and xenogamy. That is, autogamy is self-pollination, xenogamy is said to be the cross-pollination. And definitely when these are there, for example, even the pollination, see to it that you remember over there are examples being given to you. So these, as I took the example for an MCQ also. The example for an MCQ was what I'm talking about, which mechanism. So I had given the names of the different flowers which are there. So there are few only. So make a note of it. Again, saying make note of it. Make your own notes. Write down separately what it is at a glance. When you can see, you make your photographic memory, and it helps you to understand it better. Now the application-based questions which are there. A man's pulse rate is 68 and the cardiac output is 5,500 centimeter cube. Find the stroke volume. So cardiac output is equal to heart rate into stroke volume, and you calculate it, right? So you write down the same way how you explain any of the mathematical, I mean to say the solving an example. So you will write down what is the cardiac output and what is the pulse rate which is there. So it is an heart rate which is there. So the cardiac output is equal to the heart rate or the pulse rate into the stroke volume which is there. So over here it will be 5500 upon 68, which gives us an approximately, it is coming in point. So we can write down it is giving it as an approximate 80 is the stroke volume. So this is an application-based question because you know what is the cardiac output, you know what is the stroke volume, right? You know what is the pulse rate. So it is just being given to you. You have to only put in those values into it and find out the stroke volume. Clear? Unit again, like I mean to say the physics and chemistry where units are important. Over here also it will be stroke volume, which is around 70 ml is a normal stroke volume. Over here you get it around approximately 80 ml of the stroke volume, where definitely that also carries marks which you require it. Explain, provide reasons, give theory, describe the steps. This will be where we are talking about the explain. Now here is another question which is there from the biotech, that is lesson number 12. A PCR machine can rise temperature up to 100 degrees, but after that it is not able to lower the temperature below 70 degrees Celsius. Automatically, which step of PCR will be hampered first in this faulty machine? Explain why. So I hope the polymerase chain reaction is the reaction which is we're talking about. Right, where the temperature definitely goes, no, if it is talking about the various steps, it is a denaturation step, it is annealing step, and the extension step. So this is where the question, I'm to say when you are asked. So the second step which is there, that is the annealing step, will be hampered is the answer. Why it will be hampered? Because the temperature required over here is 40 to 60 degrees. Right? So that is the step which is hampered. So that is what will be your answer to this question. With that only, I have taken up a complete question if been asked on a kind of a short note on an, I'm going to say a bigger question, steps of PCR. So you write denaturation, we write the annealing, and we write the extension. So these are the 3 steps. Explain it well. Another thing can be asked on the same basis, on the same question, which would be a diagram-based question. Diagram-based question, if we see, the same diagram I have taken it from the textbook. Now over here, again, see there, over here when you see denaturation, you see annealing, right? And the extension part, which is the last 2 copies which is formed. So probably those will not be there, right? Those will be hidden, and they will be asking, what is this diagram? This diagram is of what? This is a diagram of a PCR. We write down polymerase chain reaction. What are the different steps involved in this process which is shown above? The process, the following are the steps. Again, the steps will be denaturation, annealing, and extension. So this can be a diagram-based question. Again, another diagram-based question which you're talking about is in control and coordination synapse ka jo hai. So that is also one of a diagram-based question. Another, if I say in respiration, which you have is the alveolar membrane ka hai, right? The oxygen coming in and the carbon dioxide going out, right? So that is again a diagram-based question. So again and again, when you are reading a particular topic, you are opening that particular page and you are revising. You are revising your notes, wonderful. Yes, you will be revising your notes, but along with that, you will be having the textbook in front of you where you have to think on what could be the questions are, right? You also can make your own questions. So here I believe practice makes progress. Yeah, and we would say that is how. Fine. So here, if you have been knowing it, how to do it, how we can go about. So my first thing would be definitely by taking stress, we are not going to gain anything. So how, you should be stress-free. Stress-free, in fact, would be what I'm talking is where you segregate your whole syllabus of bio. Definitely, you know that bio is said to be where you are going to study a lot of theoretical way, right? So you can segregate or you can divide your syllabus. You can divide your topics with easy, not easy, and difficult, right? So you can easily make it in that way and start studying and divide the whole thing. That is a whole syllabus and definitely complete in the stipulated time with your revision. Again and again, I would say refer to your textbook when you are studying any topic, right? You are supposed to see your textbook, set your goals. Definitely your goals which are there are set to be set as starting with a day, weekly, monthly, making your timetable which help you to achieve your goals. And when I'm talking about goals, when you set your goals, definitely you need to be consistent with the goals what you have set in. Keep yourself motivated, right? Definitely speak to your mentors, speak to your friends, speak to your parents, right? Speak to your teachers if you are feeling low. Keep yourself motivated the way you can. Schedule set, whatever I said, set your goals, make your timetable. Making your timetable should be always realistic. मैं आज इतना करूंगा, मैं आज इतना करूंगी, and I can complete this. This is all the hypothetical thinking. So we need to put it down on the paper, make a timetable of your own, and it is according to each and everybody's capability how you can do. Like for example, if you and your friend definitely are reading a particular chapter, probably you can do the 4 answers in a stipulated time or in a time frame what you have set for yourself, but your friend might do around 6 questions. Fine. No problem. You have set it 4 questions, thorough, done, move ahead. Probably you might sit half an hour extra. You have to set your goal, right? It should be achievable, consistent, and definitely I always say that keep always a buffer time. ऐसे नहीं कि 2 दिन पहले मेरा ये इतना complete, 2 दिन नहीं, 4 दिन पहले सोचो. Probably 2 दिन, 1 day you might not be well. You will have to let go that 1 day. You can't sit. You can't do anything. So what are you going to do? Then more stress, 1 more day gone in that, right? No. So always you need to keep a buffer time. You have to set yourself in such a way that I can keep. So you can, if you have a buffer time, you can enjoy that 1 day. In fact, you can enjoy that half day, right? So that is where it would be. I always say programming, focus, and passion. Our brain is a superpower, if you say, and which you're going to study this year, right? Yeah, frontal portion, decision making, intelligence, right? Intelligence is a part, hardworking, right? We control it before it rules you. So distraction and direction, I always say, are inversely proportional. Clear? So you have your direction, move out your distraction away, right? Distractions like your mobile phones, etc., keep them away. Right? You need to know you have set your goals, you have set your timetable, you know what you need to achieve. So you should not be distracted. You need to be consistent. You need to be focused. So remain focused and cultivate the passion of doing that. Like I would complete this. That's a passion, in fact. Studying is also a passion. It's not that studying for marks. it is studying for knowledge. Definitely it is going to help you in your future years. It's not only for the limited time which is required. And lastly, definitely solve papers. Doing all the above will let you know where you stand in this competition. And that is by solving papers. And that's what I say, that practice makes progress, right? That's why where we need to do is solve papers. We need to know where we stand, what we have done, what have we studied, and how you can do it. Yeah. I wish all of you luck, and definitely I have I'm to say given all the points whatever are required. So students, it's not that it's only the verbal thing. We need to apply this. We need to apply this, and we need to I'm to say bring into practice what we are going to do, and that will help you to achieve your goals and definitely go near your goals, near your dreams, and dreams do come true, right? Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aarti madam. Students, I hope you are fully satisfied. I forgot to tell you that Aarti madam has trained students for Olympiad and NEET exam also, and it showed in her charts. That's how you're going to prepare it. Students, always remember, your brain is not made to remember long notes. You should convert those notes into chart form, and your brain is going to retain the charts, not the entire notes. So convert your notes into chart form, your brain will definitely retain that. Also in exam, always underline the examples. Always try to underline the keywords. Okay. So your attention, your keywords attract attention of examiner and you get full marks. Remember that. Always remember, underline example, underline keywords. Students, in science, in biology, we don't go for your English language. We don't go for your grammatic mistakes. What we need are scientific facts. So don't mind your English language. Just concentrate on the scientific language, on the keywords, and you're going to succeed. Also, the time management chart which Aarti madam showed you, put it to use when you solve the test series of Phalashruti. That's going to give you tremendous help in solving your final HSC board paper. So stick to that time management chart while solving Phalashruti test series. Thank you so much, Aarti madam. That was a great journey through this lively topic, lively subject. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the students?
Students, any queries you may ask in chat box.
Or they can unmute and they can talk. Students, you can unmute yourself and you can speak.
Come on, students, unmute yourself. So that shows you're fully satisfied. So stay with us for many more Phalashruti sessions. Thank you so much.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, I had missed the first lecture of orientation as well as the physics lecture. So is there any recording I can watch?
Yes, we are sending you the recordings. Already sent Sunday's recordings yesterday, and these recordings will be sent to you correspondingly.
On email?
Yes, on email, even on your WhatsApp, you may get it. Right now, we have sent it on your WhatsApp.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
You just check your WhatsApp. We have sent you physics. We have sent you mathematics. And since you are a science student,
I received some PDFs, but not the recording of the lecture.
Pardon?
Ma'am, I have received some PDFs, but not the recording of
No, that recording you will get the YouTube. You will get the YouTube recordings very shortly because the editing work is going on. Once that is ready, we will send you the recording.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I would like to really thank Gole ma'am and Veena ma'am for giving me this opportunity. And I really appreciate all the students for listening so quietly, calmly. And I hope I have, come to that, all the queries have been cleared. So students, you need to fear. You need to fear. You need to fear means what I say. It's not, need to fear means either one, forget everything and run, okay? Or you face everything and rise. So I think the second one is much better. we face it, and that is how we will face it, by giving exams one by one and going to our final goal. So we will push ourselves where we will prepare ourselves, prepare until success happens. So this is what you will do. Yeah. All the best, students. Thank you very much.
Yeah, students,
Thank you, Aarti.
day after tomorrow, you'll be having your chemistry lecture at 10 o'clock in the morning. So come prepared for the chemistry lecture. That also is going to be very, very interesting. I think there are no queries from the
Let's
students.
conclude the session now.
Yes, yes, we can conclude.
Bye. See you all back.
Yeah. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Aarti madam, for your
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
lecture and guidance. I'm sure students have definitely benefited by whatever you have given them. And they will prove it to you when they write the first test series. You will come to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very
Bye.
much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Pada ma re